Teaching you guys how to make onigiri, which is a Japanese rice ball, and I hope you guys enjoy. Some of the initial ingredients out right here that we're going to be using for this first step. And we have our rice, our lovely sushi rice, also called boten, that we'll be using. We have some measuring cups, we have some packets of sugar, rice, vinegar, and a rice cooker, because I am not using a pan. That's too much work. And to start things off, we're going to take the steamer out and we're going to throw it over here. We don't need it. And then we're going to be taking this container out. And I know it says how much water per cup of rice you need, but I don't use that at all. I'm over here measuring with my finger to get the Asian stamp of approval. So add however much rice you want. I'm just gonna make a couple, a good amount. Nice little stir. All right. And you don't need the rice anymore. Look at that, we're almost done. So step one. So now we gotta rinse this rice. And so what I'm trying to do, now there's just a bunch of water in it. As you can see, you can't see the rice. So we have to rinse it out with our hands, and then we're gonna have to pour all this water out. By trying not to lose any rice. And then we're gonna do this again. And we're gonna keep doing this until we can see the rice. So stir, do some a little of this, do some of this. Bam, and then pour it all out. This part takes a little while, it's a little tedious. The more rice you add, the longer this whole thing's going to take. This is always my least favorite part of this. This takes forever. It's getting a little bit better. You can kind of see the outline of the rice. This is taking too long. Sometimes I like to let it sit in here a little bit. I don't know, I notice it kind of helps instead of me just rinsing, pouring, rinsing, pouring, rinsing, pouring. We pour some of this out. Look at that, you can see it through the water. It's all nice and happy. Now the fun part, if you want to use the right amount of water. Now normally people may use those lines on the side of the bowl that kind of helps you, but I'm not doing that. We want to, I know you can't tell, but that last part was not in the frame at all, but I measured the water up to the index finger, but not all the way on the nail. And then once you've done that, you can see your rice. I'm going to take this over, to put it in your rice cooker, plug it into the wall. Close that, turn it on, press white rice, and then this will take about 30 minutes for it to cook, and we're gonna go move on to the next step in the meantime. Just help get the rice some flavor, and these are the ingredients we need: a pan, some sugar, rice vinegar, some measuring things, and water. Hopefully you have some water, and we shall start. So take your cup. This is half a cup. This all depends, all the amounts that I'm using kind of all depends on how much rice you use. Add it in there. And then take your rice vinegar. You don't want too much of it. It's not a pleasant smell. And I used a lot. Alright. Good job, me. Some of that back. Okay. Then we have our packets of sugar. It's just easier for me to measure. Sweet. Give it a little stir. You got a lot of sugar everywhere. Awesome. So, I'll put this on here. Light it up. And we don't want too much heat, but we want to keep it relatively low because we're trying to heat up this thing so the sugar dissolves, and we'll be stirring it and waiting for it until the rice cooker is done making the rice. We have returned, and we have a different camera on right now, so hopefully this is a little bit better. I just crippled one hand. So we have our little broth here that the sugar has dissolved, so that's been good. We have our next steps. We have a pan tray thing. We have a rice spoon, and then we have a rice bowl. Very simple. So our rice cooker is done here. Beautiful. She looks so snazzy. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take all our rice out. We're gonna put it in this bowl. Take the rice in the bowl. Hopefully, you can do this with one hand. Voila. I'm gonna spread it out. Try not to be too mean to the rice. You know, little love taps. Try not to burn your hand like I'm doing right now. Try and do this with one hand. Unplug that. Got all that ready. We're gonna move our rice cooker to the side. We don't need them. But we do need this lovely thing over here. And we're gonna be adding a little bit at a time and then stirring it with the spoon. Yes, I'm doing this with one hand. Adding a little bit. And we'll be mixing it around. Try not to damage, you don't want to beat the rice up or anything. You just want a nice little even stir. Maybe do a little flip action. Spread it out. I always have a habit of putting too much of this stuff in. I never really know how much. I've been working on it. Maybe I can get some advice in the comments below. Alright, I've added some more. And then we do some of this. Alright, we have to put the rest out. Now, right now this is currently hot, and you could make the onigiri right now if your heart truly desires. But personally, my rice doesn't really stick a whole lot. So that is why we have this little baking sheet right here. Once this is stirred, pretty good, we're gonna take this rice and we're gonna throw it on here. We're gonna just spread it out. Get that out of the way. And this is kind of all we're doing. However much rice you want to use. We're adding it. I missed the lovely tray. Bonk. And then we'll add it in here. I'm gonna be using the rest of this rice for dinner tonight, but so for this guy right here, simply just gonna put this in the fridge and we'll come back tomorrow. It's 24 hours-ish. And then we will try this again. So, all right, it's currently the next day. Took the rice out of the fridge. It's a little bit harder than I would like. This doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it does. I'm not really sure why it does that. I have some seaweed that I've cut just for different methods on making this. There's the classic plastic food wrap, and then I got a little mold to make little smaller ones, make it a little bit easier. And what's fun about this is you can always add different type of filling. Right now, you got some Kewpie mayo, and then you can put meat in it, mix it as well. So for this one, we're just gonna show this guy right here. And then you take your rice, and then you mold it, and then you put it in. This little guy, which is much easier if you have a hard time keeping your rice to stay in this little shape. Some more. It does help if you actually put water in your hands so the rice doesn't stick. This has been pretty compressed. Take it out, take your little seaweed, get your little rice, get it in. Boom. Then you get your seaweed on it, and wham, there you go. Ta-da. And it just hangs out like that. And now I'm going to show you the other method with the plastic wrap. Which will make a bit. It may not look the prettiest right now. Doesn't look that great. And you take whatever filling you want, you can put in the center. Put in some of this. Nothing too complicated. Wonderful. You don't need the plastic wrap if you don't want to, but it helps me when all the rice sticks to your hand. You just mold it into the shape that you need. And then seaweed might be pretty good. Okay. You know, it's not perfect, it's not great, but we're working on it. And you got the other one. Bam. And that's how you make onigiri. And I'm sorry for the constant black screen. I'm trying to get better at recording. This was my first attempt at a POV video. Obviously, I have a lot to learn, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this gets the Japanese stamp of approval. Not necessarily the recording, but you know, the main premise of it was making the rice ball. I hope you guys enjoyed. These tasted fantastic. I hope you guys can also, you know, learn a thing or two and teach me. I'd always appreciate it. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe.